What? One of Dr. Gearloose's inventions would never go evil and destroy.
Astro B.O.Y.D is interesting, but I think kind of weak overall. It relies more on sort of the premise and the aesthetic, which is, well, anime. Whether it be them going to Tokyo, the Lupin the Third characters, the Sailor Moon cosplay, or the fact that the episode is very much based / a parody of Osamu Tezuka's Astro Boy, you can't help but notice it. It's important to note that Osamu Tezuka is actually pretty important. He's often considered to be Japan's equivalent to Walt Disney. He ushered in the manga revolution, which is the reason why I have so little money in my pocket, and he has admitted to have been inspired by Disney films like Bambi and even forged a friendship with Karl Barks, who, created the Duck universe as we know it for the most part. It's hard to really separate the anime references / influences from the episode to talk about the story because, again, the anime is kind of everywhere. It lends a certain appeal to it. Even the opening, which I actually felt they should have played the opening in Japanese, or maybe made like a new, totally different anime Ducktales opening that the fans would have, later demanded be the actual opening, but whatever. Personally, I never knew there was a demand for a B.O.Y.D story. I didn't like his character. I think he's fun. He's endearing. You can't help but like B.O.Y.D. His stare sort of weirds me out sometimes, but I like the kid. I also love that we confirm that he wasn't created by Mark Beeks, and anything that distances these characters from Mark Beeks is a blessing in my opinion. Huey and Fenton are just kind of there at times. It is interesting to see that Huey is somehow even more of an outcast amongst the junior woodchucks in his own family, and Louis was right. He is King Nerd. He legitimately is King Nerd. The fact that B.O.Y.D, who is still not quite sure, he's still a bit of a machine in some ways. The fact that that's the person he was able to bond with so well, because they both love the logic and the facts and how things are supposed to be done, is hilarious. It would be like if Huey found himself getting along with C-3PO. It just sort of...
We can write down our experiences and analyze them later.
I'm in!
Fenton was sort of just there more than the others to force the story along, and it felt sort of ham-fisted in some ways. Like, they know that it's important that they get B.O.Y.D's memories suited out, but to sort of prove that, B.O.Y.D can actually be a hero, he hears there's a robbery in Shinjuku. By the way, a lot of stuff happens in Shinjuku when it comes to anime. So then Fenton's like, well, I know it's not, fixed yet, but, let's prove he can be a hero before we fix him. And yeah, that sort of stupid. Also, Fenton shooting the wall out alerted the bad guy. It's just weird. Just weird. I love the 2BO reference too. But the real MVP of this story was Gyro, I think. Just because he plays off of every character so well. This is pretty much a Gyro-centric story. And I remember going through the community groups on Facebook and some of the other chats and comment sections. A lot of people are sort of divided when it comes to Gyro. They either like his direction or they really don't like him, and they miss the other version. What I liked about this episode is it explains why Gyro is the way he is. Gyro used to actually be a bit like Fenton. He actually used to be more like how we saw him from the original cartoon. He used to be very nice and gentle and charming, and he really wanted to believe that B.O.Y.D could be a real boy. And to see what happened with B.O.Y.D, the destruction he caused, it did sort of leave an impact on him. As he himself says,
B.O.Y.D was the first invention I worked on that turned evil, and I have spent my whole life trying to live that down.
And it's great at the end of that, seeing Gyro reconnect with B.O.Y.D. In a way, Gyro and B.O.Y.D are the same. They never had the chance to be something else. So, at the end, when he looks at Fenton like, look...
Yes, intern, I was once like you. Of course, I was a naive idiot back then, but if I had someone to actually listen to me, I might not have been so hopeless. So, you're hired full-time, doctor.
And it's a fun episode overall. Again, maybe the story and the aesthetic go pretty well in hand, and maybe the less you know about it, the more fun it is, or maybe vice versa. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Either way, I did like this episode, but again, not much Scrooge, or at all. No Scrooge at all, but some great Huey moments. So, who knows? Who knows? Anyway, with that in mind, we'll bring this video to a close here. If you're new to the Debug Think Tank, feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe. Check out some other videos, and I'll catch you all later. This is the Debug Think Tank signing off. Thanks for watching. As always, may your fandom serve you well.
Leave now.